there and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a part 2 to my back to school get organized with me. I'm going to be sharing with you how I'm going to decorate and do our central command station. We're going to declutter and get the pantry ready to go for lunches and breakfast. And then I'm going to get the kids' clothes organized and monogrammed, all using my Cricut today so I can have as much of a stress-free back to school as possible. If you're new here, my name's Lauren. I do all things home, family, and cooking. And if you're a returning girl, it's so good to see you. Okay, let's jump into this video and get ready for back to school.
And I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe you don't want to know, but you don't see what you have in front of you. Or maybe
So this year I've decided that I'm going to do a little bit of a redecorate down here in our lower level. I decided to take the kids' toys out and I'm going to actually be installing a giant couch. It's already here. It actually came later this day, but I didn't film it. And what I decided is I thought it'd be best to add the kids' central command station to the basement, which is midway between the top story. Our house is 3 stories tall, but when you enter, it's in the middle story, so I thought they can go down there and I'll make little cubbies for their homework, their shoes, and then some hooks for their backpacks. And I'll also keep our family's giant calendar there and kind of create more of a family room down here and less of like a playroom workspace. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. You'll see at the end of the video kind of how this all comes together. But to get started, I'm going to move all of these items into this kind of open space area that we don't really use right now. And then I'm going to label these and get them nice and organized for back to school. If you're new to my channel, this is Enzo. She's our favorite little YouTube loving kitty, and we also have 2 other cats named Ferruccio and Fortuna. They are our adorable little rescues. We rescue cats all the time and do foster, but these little 2 Bombays are so cute, and honestly, I had a really hard time getting them adopted. People seem to have an issue with black cats, but let me tell you, these kittens have brought us so much love and luck. I can't imagine giving them up. So we decided to keep them. If you've been on my channel long enough, you definitely know about those 2 little cuties. So to get started in here, I'm going to be stacking up these great little cubbies. I will link these down below. I got them on Amazon about 4 or 5 years ago, and they have held up so well. They used to be in the kids' playroom, and they've been through 2 moves, and they've just held up really great. So I'm going to give them a nice clean, and then I'm going to actually go upstairs and get rolling on my Cricut. While I'm doing that, my husband is going to drill the hooks for the backpacks and hang up our calendar.
I don't want to waste my time.
So for today, I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer 3, and I wanted to say thank you to Cricut for sponsoring today's video. I love my Cricut Explorer. It is one of my absolute favorites. I used to have, well, I still do have my Cricut Joy, and I do love that. It's kind of my go-to for simple projects, but for the sake of today and for how many labels I'm going to need, I really love using my Cricut Explorer 3. I also find that it's a lot faster than my Cricut Joy, and I can do a much larger scale of labels because of these wonderful smart vinyl rolls. They're just awesome and I love them so much. You also don't have to use the transfer mat, which I think is so awesome. But anyway, to get started, I'm going to be doing some very simple things, just adding their names. I'm also going to be printing out some homework signs, some shoe signs, but I'm not actually going to be using those in this video for the sake of time. This particular day, we're just going to be using their names and getting them secured on the cubbies. I'll be using my weeding tool just to kind of remove this tape here, and then we're going to be using transfer tape. It's really easy to use. If you don't know much about Cricut, I'll link down a couple of videos that I found that really helped me just to get started on my Cricut Explorer 3, but this is a really easy way to just use transfer tape and then go ahead and stick it onto any surface. I'm using a removable smart vinyl here, that way in case I need to reuse this for something else, I can just use any type of tool and just remove these easily. Once you have them nicely pressed, you just remove the transfer tape and you're good to go.
Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high.
So we got the kids new backpacks this year. I realized when I was getting all their stuff together in my last video that all of their backpacks are super old and one of them didn't even zip, and I thought instead of having one child get a new backpack or two, I decided to get a new one for everybody. Unfortunately, Georgette's was on back order. It'll be here in September, but I'm going to just use her backpack from last year. She's a lot like me and keeps everything nice and clean, so it's pretty easy. Then I'm going to be adding those awesome daily to-do lists and weekly checklists that I have for the kids. I will link the video for this down below, and I'll also link a clickable for you guys if you want to print those for your own kids. I'm putting them in these simple dollar store little bins. That way I can keep all their homework and books and notebooks and all the things they use during the week and the year right in their cubby. And then I'm also going to be adding their shoes as well. In one of the stations, I like to add some very simple grab and goes. Since we are still using masks here, I like to add some nice antibacterial little personal jars, and then I also like to add some tissues, and then I will be putting together a nice large basket of disposable and washable masks depending on what the kids are looking for. I do find, like, as a busy mom, I do work full-time, so to have the disposable masks and a set of ones that I can clean really helps so I don't get too far behind and make sure the kids are staying nice and sanitary. And then the other thing I like to do is put together all of their cozies, so gloves, hats. We do live in Northern California. It does not get super cold here this time of year, but because we do live close to San Francisco, we get lots of morning fog and it gets really chilly. So I like to make sure this is on hand so I'm not scrambling in the morning when the kids are cold and trying to get out the front door. If you're familiar with my channel, you know decor is at the heart of everything I do on this channel. So of course I had to add a little back to school banner because it's just so cute. I will definitely link this down below as well. And I just think this turned out really simple, really nice. The kids are going to love to be able to come here and know exactly where their things need to go. And it will help me to be able to manage all of their homework every day and keep them on task. I love their daily to-do list. I also have a star chart up in their room, and every day that they do well they get a star, and when they get 30 stars they get a little reward. So I like to do that. I know it's hard to have a reward system. I'm a busy mom and sometimes I just don't feel like doing it too, but honestly if you can keep the kids on it, it will really help them understand the value of hard work. So I highly recommend it. If you can keep it up, it will only benefit them.
Well, something's gotta give today. It's a good day today and not tomorrow. There's no...
Here we are in the pantry, and what I'd like to do is, this is all the kids' back to school stuff. This I need to move down to the basement. Sandwich bags, things like that. I also have their bed go boxes. I'll link these down below. I like to put their lunches in these during the week. And then their shirts, we need to put their initials on these and kind of get this all tidied up. I've got a ton of these. I love that Hydro Flask is now at Home Goods, which is great. Here's everything we have. I've got some cooking stuff down here. All of this needs to move. I don't need it up here. And then it's just random stuff here. It's super unorganized. I need to do a grocery haul for back to school, which is in 2 days, and get all of this stuff kind of organized. This doesn't belong here. I gotta put their names on those. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually gonna be changing these out and using my refrigerator bins and trying to organize the kids' back to school snacks so they can grab and go. I'm gonna have them try to bring their own snacks for recess during this school year. They're all old enough. And if you haven't been in the pantry for a while, we decided to change this out. This needs to all move back to the other side. This all needs to go away. I'd like to make this all cooking stuff. We built these shelves so they roll out for our coffee maker. Just kind of nice in the morning, so it's all in one spot. And then our microwave. So we just did a little, I probably should have filmed all that, but I didn't have time. So I have some cleaning to do here. The other thing, that all needs to be put away as well. These are super messy. We also built these little shelves here. So I need to go through here and just declutter, clean. This might be a good place for overflow snacks. And yeah, so we got a lot of work to do in here today. After we're done with that, I am going to use my Cricut to, again, get all these monogrammed, to get their names on it. I also want to label everything that's over here so I know where things go. Okay, let's get started.
You say take me on a treasure hunt. I long for something new. Have you heard the fairies when they sing and dance? Oh, I wish it was me every night.
So now that I have pretty much all of the pantry cleaned out as far as the things that are loose in here, I want to put everything out here in the center. I'm going to organize it all back into the pantry nicely. And then I like to remove all the food and kind of reorganize everything that I have back into a meaningful place where I can see very easily when I'm getting low on things and kind of organize how I do lunches. I kind of do lunches in an interesting way, and I'm definitely going to share a lot of that with you guys. You asked me a lot last year about the bento boxes and how I do lunches where I almost never have sandwiches. My rule of thumb is I save my peanut butter and jellies and turkey sandwiches for days when I really don't have time to make a nice lunch, which I try to do as least as possible, but it, you know, sometimes will pop up here and there with work and whatnot. So I'm going to clean everything off here, and then I'm going to start putting, I took all of the plastic stuff that was inside my refrigerator out, and I'm going to be lining it up on here, and we're going to be adding all the different snacks. I'm putting labels just to kind of organize where I think I'm going to put things. This is definitely going to change, and I feel like this is the easiest way to kind of compartmentalize where things need to go, what are things that I want the kids to be able to grab on their own, so teaching them to be self-sufficient, and then what are things that I kind of prefer that I grab when they need it. Obviously, having an couple older children, they're going to grab whatever they need, but my little guy, I really prefer he keeps the snacks up above and kind of grabs for the fruit that's in the kitchen when he's hungry. So I'm going to start adding in a couple things. The other thing I would suggest for lunches is definitely change up your grab and goes. I like to do 1 or 2 of these little snack things, are mostly for recess, and then inside the bento box is all whole foods, so fresh vegetables, fruit, pasta. Tomorrow we're doing a grilled cheese sandwich and cheeseburgers, depending on what the kids want. And I find that by the time they sit down for lunch, because their recess snacks are gone, they will pretty much eat anything I put in there because they're so hungry. So keep that in mind. Use your lunch as an opportunity to kind of introduce some healthier foods to your kids, because they will be hungry, and it's a great opportunity to have them try some new things.
I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too. Beauty lives in me. I know I don't yet know it, so I trust you when you say that beauty lives in me too.
Alrighty guys, so we have finished cleaning. I went ahead and just cleaned up, and I thought I would do a little tour for you and make it a little bit easier on myself too. So I went ahead and finished kind of organizing all of this. Starting at the bottom where the kids' lunch boxes are. This makes it nice and easy to grab the lunch box, grab whatever bento box they need and or corresponding little Contigo thermos. That way I can do like soups and pastas. I'll definitely do some recipe ideas for kids. Grab a hydro flask. And then up here we have all kinds of breakfast. It's my daughter's birthday and her favorite thing on earth are chocolate-filled crepes. So I have those for her birthday. I need to get some more oatmeal. Kids love oatmeal. And then I usually have a couple different options for breakfast. Right now we have 2 different types of cereal, granola, pancake mix, bagels, and some bread. And then up here I have some grab-and-go snacks. These are for their like recesses. So the bento boxes are for lunch, and then they have 2 recesses that require 1 to 2 snacks per recess. So usually I'll grab one of these and a bar, especially if they have PE or something like that, then I want to make sure I have those. We have juices, grab-and-go snacks. I like to pre-do these like every Sunday. That way I've got them ready to go, and some crackers and popcorn. Here is a little back stock of items that I go through pretty often. And then over here, we have some sugar, grains, and flour. These are all different types of flour. I also have some salt up there. And then some overflow items. These are different hot sauces and vinegars that I like to cook with. And then here's some baking stuff, nuts and seeds, panko. Then I have risotto, rice, and flour. Tomato paste, diced tomatoes. Sorry, the train next door is on the move. I do need some more pasta. Usually this is full of spaghetti, but I'm getting low. This helps me be able to kind of see things too. I could use some more penne. I just did a big ziti the other night. That's why I'm super low. And then I've got some fun fall pastas for the kids, and then Annie's, which is my go-to when I'm super tired and don't feel like cooking. And then down here are just everyday condiments that I go through really fast, and then same thing but for baking. Extra olive oil, containers for when I make dressings, and little bites for the kids for their lunch the next day, water, and sparkling water. And then that keeps things kind of clean over here. Over here I kind of did the same thing, except they added all of our cooking stuff, starting with my Dutch oven down to my Instant Pot and my Vitamix, Cuisinart. That's a juicer that I use sometimes for the kids to make like juice and stuff. And then 2 little crock pots. These are great if I'm making a smaller dish. And then my pasta maker. I have 2 mixers because a lot of times when I'm baking something I need it for 2 things. You guys have seen those in my cook with me's. Here's all the garbage. And then up here we have our espresso machine, coffee maker, the this is a fryer, air fryer. That is our microwave, and that is we cook our turkey in those. Now that we kind of have the pantry ready for school, I am going to take some time and use my Cricut Explorer 3 to make some different labels for these.
Turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide, you can bury yourself beneath the stones.
So I'm going to be using my Cricut Design Space pretty much this entire video to actually put all of my labels together, and I'm going to show you a little bit in this video how to make the monograms, because it's kind of specific how you group things together so that it comes out as one and the sizing is right. But I'll share that with you a little bit later in this video. I will say when it comes to using the Cricut, it really just becomes trial and error. By the 2nd or 3rd time you actually use it, you understand exactly the sizing and how things are going to turn out. I really enjoy using this. I find this to be extremely easy to use, and I just like how clean everything turns out, and the precision of this labeling is just far better than anything I've ever used before. But what I'm going to do is get this all kind of weeded out. That's a really great weeding tool where you just kind of pick this thing apart, and then I'm going to be using transfer tape and cut these up and get them into the pantry. That way I can tell every morning or night when I'm in there trying to take inventory of what we need, I know exactly what goes where. If there's a bin that's empty and it's not labeled, I'll have no clue what I had put in there and what I'm missing until I actually need it.
Use a friend, use a friend. Don't let your fear decide. That's how you break inside. You don't need to worry. Somebody's waiting down the line to pick up the pieces. Hey, you'll be alright. You'll be alright.
It feels so good to be starting the new school year with everything nice and organized. I'm really happy with the way all of these labels turned out. Now I know exactly what needs to go where. I do need to add one more label on there. I forgot to add one more cereal, but I can easily tell I need more oatmeal, and each of these snacks, I don't have to be stuck to exactly what snack is in there. I just know that these are the snacks that I need to feed a family of 6. And then I also love these grab and goes if you guys want to buy in bulk. It's a much easier way to kind of control, so in the morning you're not kind of packaging things up. I'll also show you how I do food prep for their whole food lunches in the bento boxes in another video to come. Okay, to get started on the monogramming shirts, this is really easy. I'm going to be using my Easy Press. This is a 9x9. I have mine nice and ready to go. I'm going to put it off to the side, and I'm going to show you guys step by step exactly how to monogram. I'll be using 100% cotton t-shirts, and I'll be using a Smart iron-on vinyl in black.
I'm closer to you now. I can't get close enough somehow.
So doing a monogram is pretty simple. It's like any other label. I'm going to be using the Times New Roman font. I really like it. It's got a very classic feel to it, and I'm going to do it the same for every single one of my kids just to keep things quite simple for myself. And the easiest way to do this is to type out your initials. You're going to be first name, last name, middle name, and we're going to be taking these sides and making them slightly smaller. Now, because the fonts aren't going to be perfectly the same, I always kind of like to line them up to make sure that they're kind of similar in size, and then I'm going to center them on the middle. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to group them so they become one, but before you print them, you're going to need to actually weld them together. Otherwise, Cricut will think that they're each, like the T, H, and N are all their own element. But I'll show you that in a second. I'm going to cut and paste these as many as I need. I know I have 6 shirts per child that I'm going to be monogramming today, so I'm just going to cut and paste each one. Once I get that done, I'm going to actually group the entire name together. So every single one of Jack's monograms here, I'm going to group those and weld them. Then I'm going to go to Ted's, I'm going to weld his. That way when I go to print, it's going to print them in blocks, not in individuals. That makes it super easy. Then I'm going to go to the heat guide. I love this. It's an app on your phone too, but you basically just say, what is the material I'm using? What am I using it on? I'm using it on 100% cotton. Then I say I'm using my Cricut Easy Press, apply, and boom. I know exactly how hot it needs to be and how long I need to give it pressure. Once I have my Easy Press ready to go, I'm going to be getting my Easy Press mat and I'm going to be sliding my shirt right into it. Before that, we definitely want to make sure that we weed out our monograms. This is really easy. You will notice with the press on, or the iron on rather, material here, it's a lot more rubbery than your regular smart vinyl. I love this. It already comes right on the mat. I don't even need to use a transfer mat. I'm going to slide my Easy Press mat right in there, and we're going to use a kind of simple method. I like to use each button as my guide of where I'm going to put it. What I would say is go to the bottom button, and one button up right in the middle is where you're going to add your monogram, and that way for every single shirt it's in the exact same place. Now for the next shirt, because it's going to be smaller, or maybe it has 4 buttons instead of 3 or whatever, you just want to keep them all the same depending on which shirt you're using. So I'm going to just push my little Cricut happy face. I'm going to give this some nice pressure, and I'm going to wait for it to finish. Once it's done, I'm going to transfer it back to its pad and let that completely cool off before I remove the backing.
Cup after cup, yeah, it's just the way we do it. Anything just to block out the real life, real life. Yeah, we're loving the way they think we're so messed up. Even if what we're doing is bad, there's so many emotions. Sharing stories that we never had, yeah, none is real. I think we're searching for reasons not to be like them. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about the way we are.
Now that we have all the shirts done, it looks like a sea of shirts. This probably took me in all about 20 minutes to do. It was really fast. It was just pretty much waiting for it all to dry. And now that it's done, I'm going to just be pulling it off nice and slowly. You want to make sure that everything is fully going to come off. If you do notice as you pull this off that the letters are pulling up, just go ahead and put it back on the Easy Mat. Give it another 30 seconds and it should transfer right on. Every time I monogram anything, it just makes me want to monogram everything in the house. Tell me in the comments down below if you love monogramming. I want to do some really fun little monograms on some like little totes and library bags for the kids and some other cute things. If I had all the time in the world, I swear all I would do was just Cricut everything.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends.
So the next project I have, and my last project of the day, is to just put the kids' names on all of their lunch stuff. We are required to do this at the kids' school, and for years, as you can see, I've used a Sharpie, and it does okay, but I'd like to do something a little bit nicer and a little more substantial, so I'm going to be using a Smart Permanent Vinyl in black, again using my Cricut Explorer 3, and I'm just going to be adding a very simple name. I decided to go with something a little bit chunkier in the ways of the font that I'm using, just because it's a lot easier and quicker to transfer. But the permanent vinyl works great. I can put it in the dishwasher. I haven't had an issue with it yet. So I'm going to be using my Cricut Design Studio. I'm going to get right in there and just write their names out, get everything rolling, and then we're going to be using a little transfer tape, and we're going to be adding this to each of our bent-go boxes and their thermoses and their drink water cups and all the different things that they need for school, and get them put away in the pantry.
Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, Where did it begin? Where did it end? Hanging on loose strings, unable to bend. I never listened, trying to prove it, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime momos. We were in too deep in your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young forever. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young, be young, be young. Cause I'm thinking we'll be young forever.
It feels so good to get all of this stuff done. I think these shirts turned out so cute. It makes me, again, just want to go monogram everything we own. But it's nice to have this nice little personal touch on the kids' uniforms. And in here, I've got all of their stuff tucked away. I went ahead and added all of the things that we've labeled. That way I've got it done. I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year. Plus, I don't have to go chasing their items at school that they leave there. They just put them in a little lost and found, and I can grab it and not have to buy new stuff again. And it feels really extra special to get all of the food put away, so I know exactly what I need, and when I'm getting low on things, I can make sure the kids have exactly what they need for school. But tell me in the comments down below how you organize for your going back to school with your kids, and what you guys use to kind of keep things a little less stressful and a little more organized in the comments down below.
But I take it all back and find.
I think my favorite part of back to school is kind of getting the kids organized and their homework. I do have 4 kids who are all in elementary school, and it's enough for me to just get all of the stuff out of their backpacks and organize all the things that are required to be done during the week. So I do make my own kind of checklist for the morning, after school, and at night. And then they also have a weekly to-do list. Every Monday I have the kids sit down, and if they have something due, let's say it's Monday and it's due on Thursday, we add it to our weekly to-dos. That way we're not doing it Wednesday night. We're getting it done more like on Monday night, second iteration of it maybe on Tuesday, and then I highlight the due date so I know for sure we're not getting behind. Because honestly, guys, at the end of the day, it's not them getting behind, it's us. We're the ones that have to stay up late the night before it's due to help them get it done. So this helps me help them stay more organized and give them some really great skills for time management as they get older. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and got a little inspiration on how to do real family organization, especially if you're a large family, small family, and you do whatever you can just to keep yourself organized and stress-free as we go back to school for this wonderful year. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful back to school with your kids or grandkids or neighbors or friends' kids. And I cannot wait to share more with you in the next video. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.